He's the man who put a screen on every Wall Street desk, and in doing so, quietly rewired the flow of money, power, and information around the globe. A single product became a $100 billion gateway, one that the financial world can't function without. And at the center of it all, a former engineer with a $10 million severance check and a plan no one saw coming. But Mike Bloomberg's empire didn't stop at data. It reached into the streets of New York, reshaping a city in his image. Then came his boldest move, yet a $1 billion bid to capture the White House.
Our campaign today for the presidency ends, but our campaign for a better America, a stronger America, a more just America, a more equal America, and a more united America continues. And together, we will get it done. Thank you.
It was supposed to be the ultimate play. Instead, it exposed the limits of even the deepest pockets. This is not just the story of a billionaire. It's the story of a man who mastered the markets, ruled a city, and tried to buy the presidency. And the question that still lingers, when one man holds the data, the dollars, and the decisions, who really holds the democracy? This is the story of Mike Bloomberg. Michael Rubens Bloomberg was born in 1942 in the blue-collar neighborhood of Medford, just outside Boston. His father worked long shifts at a local dairy. His mother kept the home running, and money was always modest, but ambition was never in short supply. From an early age, Bloomberg showed an obsession with order, precision, and results. He was the kind of boy who fixed broken radios just to see how they worked, who mowed lawns for pocket change, and who kept meticulous notes on his earnings. That discipline carried him to Johns Hopkins University, where he studied engineering, and later to Harvard Business School, where he polished the analytical mindset that would become his greatest weapon. In 1966, Bloomberg joined Salomon Brothers, a fast-paced Wall Street investment bank where fortunes were made in seconds. He started in the back office, crunching bond trades, analyzing markets, and understanding the machinery of finance. Then came 1981, the year everything changed. Salomon Brothers was acquired by Fibro, and Bloomberg was abruptly fired. Years of loyalty gone in an instant. For most, it would have been a comfortable retirement. For Bloomberg, it was seed capital. He had seen Wall Street's greatest weakness up close. Traders were drowning in scattered, outdated market data. He envisioned a machine that could bring it all together, real-time, accurate, and at a trader's fingertips. With that vision, he founded Innovative Market Systems, the company that would later be known simply as Bloomberg LP. His first product, the Market Master Terminal, was revolutionary. A sleek box that could deliver live market prices, analytics, and news in seconds. And then there was the Bloomberg keyboard, unlike anything traders had used before. 2 dedicated rows of keys gave them instant shortcuts. At first, the big banks didn't take him seriously. Selling to traders who had spent decades relying on phones, paper reports, and instincts was a near impossible task. But Bloomberg had a weapon: persistence. He secured his first major client, Merrill Lynch, which ordered 20 terminals and invested $30 million in the company. That single deal didn't just validate his idea, it ignited an empire. What started as a gamble with severance money became the foundation of a global media and data powerhouse, one that would soon dominate Wall Street and change the way the financial world moved forever. By the late 1980s, Bloomberg LP was no longer a risky startup. It was a rising force that had begun to weave itself into the fabric of global finance. The Bloomberg Terminal, with its iconic orange-on-black interface, became a must-have for anyone serious about markets. Traders, bankers, and analysts, and in a world where seconds could mean millions, that was priceless. But Mike Bloomberg wasn't content with terminals alone. He expanded into Bloomberg News, delivering fast, market-moving journalism, Bloomberg Television, reaching millions worldwide, and Bloomberg Businessweek, offering in-depth analysis. By the late 90s, the Bloomberg brand had become synonymous with credibility in the financial world, a private company with the reach of a media giant and the secrecy of a bank vault. Then came the network effect. Traders quickly discovered that if they weren't on a Bloomberg terminal, they were locked out of the conversation. Instant Bloomberg Chat became Wall Street's private messaging system where deals were made, rumors traded, and fortunes shifted. To be left off the network was to be left behind.
Private messages sent by clients on the company's data terminals were leaked online. The report says 2 lists were online and had been for years that showed more than 10,000 confidential Bloomberg messages between traders at dozens of the world's largest banks and their clients.
This combination of wealth, influence, and managerial discipline set the stage for Bloomberg's next move, one that would take him far beyond Wall Street and straight into the political heart of America's biggest city. In 2001, just weeks after the September 11th attacks, New York City faced an uncertain future. Into this moment stepped Mike Bloomberg, the billionaire businessman with no political experience, switching from Democrat to Republican simply to get on the ballot. He pitched himself as a problem solver, not a politician. New Yorkers took the gamble. Bloomberg won, and on January 1st, 2002, the founder of a financial data empire became mayor of the largest city in the United States. Over the next 12 years, extended by a controversial term, limit change in 2009, Bloomberg ran the city like a CEO. He banned smoking in bars and restaurants, a policy that helped cut adult smoking rates by nearly 28%. In 2006, he pushed through a bold ban on trans fats, which became a model for cities around the world.
We need to get this artificial substance out of our food supply. You've already seen McDonald's, KFC, Arby's, Wendy's, a variety of national chains saying they've made significant progress in this area. And I think all New Yorkers should be proud of the fact that we're really in the lead in ensuring food safety.
He partnered with Cornell University to build Cornell Tech on Roosevelt Island, a long-term bet to transform New York into a hub that could rival Silicon Valley.
Mike, let me start with you because Cornell Tech is a project that took less than 7 years to come to fruition, unheard of in this day and age. And this idea for an applied science school came about when you were mayor.
Well, December of 2010, we put out a proposal to an invitation to universities to come and compete to build a campus, a graduate engineering campus on Roosevelt Island, which is in the middle of the East River, Midtown, and the rest is history. And then yesterday, our dean here opened it, really.
Economically, New York recovered from the post-9/11 downturn, weathered the 2008 financial crisis better than most cities, and saw record tourism. And then came the most controversial policy of all, Stop-and-Frisk. At its peak in 2011, police conducted 685,000 stops, and nearly 87% of those stopped were Black or Latino.
For years, former New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg defended the NYPD's use of stop and frisk. He thought it took guns off the street and made the city safer. But today, Bloomberg said he made a mistake and apologized for the controversial practice. CBS 2's Hazel Sanchez has more.
Through it all, Bloomberg ran New York the way he had run his company. He relied on data dashboards to track agency performance from crime stats to 311 service requests, and funded his political career out of his own pocket, spending $268 million across 3 campaigns to remain independent of donors. In late 2019, he re-emerged with his boldest play yet, a run for the White House. Spending more than $1 billion of his own fortune, Bloomberg skipped early primaries and flooded airwaves with ads. For a brief moment, his numbers surged, but on the debate stage, rivals attacked his mayoral record. Past comments about women and Bloomberg LP's workplace culture. On Super Tuesday, after winning only American Samoa, Bloomberg ended his campaign and endorsed Joe Biden. It was one of the most expensive political defeats in U.S. history.
In this edition of Daily Trail Markers, Michael Bloomberg ended his presidential campaign on Wednesday. The former New York City mayor won just one Super Tuesday contest in American Samoa. In a statement released on Twitter, Bloomberg said that he entered the race to defeat President Trump, adding, quote, "Today I'm leaving for the same reason."
Today, Mike Bloomberg's net worth exceeds $90 billion a fortune, anchored by Bloomberg LP, whose terminal still dominates the financial data and analytics industry with an estimated 33% to 35% global market share. Yet the competitive landscape is shifting. Refinitiv, owned by the London Stock Exchange Group, FactSet, and S&P Capital IQ, are pushing forward. After suspending his presidential campaign in March 2020, Bloomberg didn't retreat from the public stage. He pledged more than $100 million to support Joe Biden's campaign against Donald Trump, focusing heavily on swing states like Florida.
Now to Campaign 2020. This weekend, former New York Mayor Michael Bloomberg announced that he will spend $100 million in Florida to help Biden win the state. The former Democratic candidate made the decision after learning that Trump is prepared to spend millions to support his re-election effort.
Bloomberg himself remained a visible figure, speaking at climate summits, advocating for stricter gun control laws, and continuing his high-profile involvement in U.S. elections through campaign financing. His political activity kept him in the headlines, as critics argued that his wealth gave him disproportionate sway over policy debates, even without holding public office. By 2025, Bloomberg LP faced both opportunity and risk. The financial data industry was in a technological arms race, with AI-driven startups offering faster, cheaper alternatives to the $20,000 a year Bloomberg Terminal. Mike Bloomberg's story is one of contradictions. The engineer who turned a severance check into a $90 billion empire. The businessman who built the screen that Wall Street cannot live without. The mayor who ran New York like a corporation, praised for data-driven progress, and the billionaire who tried to buy the White House only to learn that even billions have limits. After 2020, he didn't fade. He became something else. A kingmaker, pouring money into climate campaigns, gun control battles, and election reforms shaping the country. His philanthropy built schools and universities, while critics argued it bought loyalty. His media empire informed the markets, while avoiding stories that could threaten sales or reputation. So the question remains, is Mike Bloomberg the disciplined visionary who redefined finance, politics, and philanthropy, or the clearest warning of how immense wealth can bend democracy itself? Perhaps the measure of Mike Bloomberg isn't in the billions he's spent, the offices he's held, or the coal plants he's shut down.